back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Black Panther soundtrack, which is the new latest Marvel movie. I have not seen this movie, so don't take... This review isn't going to have anything to do with like the actual content of the movie. I'm pretty much just going to be looking at these songs that we've been given by the members of Top Dog Entertainment. This lineup is like fairly packed with features, all of which are artists that I care about, so I thought it would be a pretty good idea to review this new soundtrack. Okay, so first of all, may as well get into these singles that I heard leading up to the release of the full-length soundtrack. I believe the first one was King's Dead, and you know, honestly at this point, like, I feel like critiquing Future's verse is just pointless. It's just a meme now, like, it's hilarious. Like, I don't want to say I'm glad it happened, but I'm kind of glad it happened. Yeah, I mean, I guess since this is a formal critique of this album, I will say that Future's verse is obviously not good. It's trash. I have no idea why it's on this song, but pretty much every other element of this song has only grown on me. I really like J-Rock's verse, I really like Kendrick's verse. The production is great. I like the beat switch, like, kind of midway through, more towards the end of the track. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely one of the better songs on the album, like, and you know, Future's like, it's there, so it's not going anywhere. Like, you know, if anything, it can serve as a little break in the middle of the I guess, in the middle of the track to, like, laugh your ass off, because this is the funniest moment that I've heard in new music in a long time. Even if it wasn't meant to be funny, I don't think. Dear God, I just want to know the intention behind this. Like, ugh, okay, moving on. Also, I think, oh no, actually, sorry, All the Stars was definitely before King's Dead. I would say that All the Stars feels the most commercial of any other song on this album. I mean, I guess the lyrics are just a little bit, like, vague and kind of surface level, and I feel like SZA's parts and Kendrick's parts, like, make no sense when meshed together, and I don't know, I guess it bothers me a little bit. I mean, obviously SZA sounds great on the song, Kendrick too. I don't know, this whole project does seem a little bit commercial to me, understandably so. I mean, I don't think it ruins the experience for me, but I mean, it is a movie soundtrack, like, you should know what you're getting into before you listen to this album. And then Pray For Me, I think, was the last one. I can't remember if there was another single. I don't think there was. I think it was just Pray For Me, which I was very, like, whatever on. I mean, I don't think it was bad. I like The Weeknd's performance on it. I think, like, those vocals were really good. It just didn't interest me, I guess. And honestly, when the full-length soundtrack dropped, I was pretty surprised with how much I liked it. Like, I could have seen this soundtrack going down the route of just completely commercial and just, like, not good at all, but there were actually, like, the deeper cuts in this album really surprised me. From a production side of things, I really don't have much to complain about at all. I mean, we're getting some trap on, like, X and Big Shot, but it's not, like, just entirely trap. Like, we're getting some R&B on, like, I Am and The Ways. We're getting some soul on Seasons, which is one of my favorite cuts off the album, actually. And we're getting some, like, house club inspired songs, like, on Redemption, but, like, still with, like, this African twist. It doesn't feel generic at all. So yeah, honestly, it was surprising for me that the production of this album was so good. Also, I thought it was a really cool touch that a lot of these verses were in Zulu, I believe it is, a South African language. Yeah, I thought that added a lot to the whole vibe of the soundtrack, and it makes a lot of sense in its context. And also, like, the narrative of this soundtrack, from what I can tell, like, by what I read on Genius, it seems to follow the movie's, like, plot fairly closely, but at the same time it works on its own as an album, which I think is definitely another strong point. And actually, I think that the R&B side of things in this album works really nicely with the production. I really like Zachariah's performance. I really like Georgia Smith's performance. Even Khalid's performance was pretty good. My favorite track by far here is Ops. This production is totally orgasmic. I love it so much. It's so smooth and pristine. I love the distorted bass with the echoing drums and the dark line of synths. It's fantastic, and Vince Staples' verse is great. Now, while there are some really nice verses on this album, such as actually Absol's verse on Bloody Water, it kind of blew me away with how clever some of this wordplay was. Like, I didn't really know that Absol had this in him. A lot of the verses, unfortunately, do feel a little bit lazy and thrown together. Like, any of the verses on X, which I know that X is supposed to be, like, not taken that seriously, but for some reason it still kind of bothered me that there's, like, little to no substance in this track at all, and I don't think it hit me hard enough to make up for it. Also, Travis Scott's verse in Big Shot does nothing for me at all. And I really actually wanted to like Big Shot because I thought that the flutes and the production were really cool, but this hook is just fucking terrible, at least in my opinion. Overall, I think that this soundtrack pretty much achieves everything that it sets out to, for the most part. There are some areas that kind of take away from it for me, like All the Stars, obviously Future's verse on King's Dead. X isn't that great to me, Big Shot isn't very good at all. But besides that, this is pretty solid. I don't think that it's more than, say, a 7, maybe a 7.5 if I'm feeling generous. But yeah, I mean, I think that I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. Now, just to update you on like where I am in this whole thing, because god damn, my fucking stuff is so scattered everywhere right now. Like, I have a Kanye Best of Worst that I just came out with in a singles update over on my blog, and then I have Little Dark Age review and Black Panther soundtrack review obviously now on this channel, and it's just like, it's just separated between two, but it's really hard because I actually very much enjoy having a place where I can write reviews as well, especially since I may want to get a job like writing for some sort of music publication in the future, and it is nice to refine my writing skills. I think that that's a very useful thing to do if you want to be a music journalist, but I actually really enjoy... Oh my god, do you hear those sirens? Jesus Christ. Shut up. Oh my god. I actually do really enjoy doing YouTube, and I think that the better I get at it, the more I'm going to like it, and I really like this community of people that does YouTube reviews, so I want to do both. God damn it. I don't know how I'm going to divide this up, but if you stick around, I promise I will figure out a system someday. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you could subscribe, that would mean everything to me. And yeah, I will see you next time.